Boxer Conor Benn was recently signed to Zuffa Boxing, the promotion that Dana White has recently opened just outside of the UFC's business venture. And one of his first signings has caused a lot of controversy in the MMA world as well as the boxing world, just due to the betrayal and the monetary amount that's going on here. So Conor Benn signs an 8-figure contract. They said 10 million, but I believe now they're saying upwards of 15 million. For one fight. This isn't a multi-fight contract. This isn't a 3-fight deal that UFC does with new guys. This is a one-fight deal. Dana White offered this guy $10+ million for one fight. Already red flags there. As UFC fans, we've seen the disparity between boxing and the UFC payouts for the longest time, and we know that the UFC can make more money. They're just holding back on paying the fighters because they do rake in an insane amount of money, but nobody's getting $10 million paydays. Not even McGregor at his prime. And there's a bit of controversy surrounding this because Conor Benn himself betrayed boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, I think his name is. So if you don't know, I mean, Eddie Hearn did a lot for Conor, but I'm not going to list everything off here, but you're welcome to read. I mean, pretty much he was there for the guy, supporting when he needed it. He defended him when he popped for steroids. He financially, supported him and backed him to help him during that time. And just tons of other favors. And Conor Benn even talked about loyalty. We'll get to that in another clip. And all that just to sign off with Dana White for one fight. We've recently, or not even recently, we've seen historically in interviews Eddie Hearn go, I know that Conor Benn's not going to assign to a different guy because we take care of him. And Conor Benn said himself that they take care of him. And that's why there's so much controversy around this, is because Conor Benn was set. He had good contracts. He had good relationships. He always had good negotiations. I'm stuttering, sorry. And Eddie Hearn was the guy behind that. They had a great friendship. They did a lot together. And I understand you might go, why is he covering boxing talking about me? It's because this bleeds into our UFC, apparatus. And I'll tell you why. But we continue on. I mean, like they said, the words from Conor Benn age like milk. Here's Conor Benn talking about his loyalty to Eddie Hearn.
My loyalty to Eddie, to the zone, to Matchroom, you can't teach that. I'm grateful for the way they've stuck by me throughout this. I'm grateful for the way they've supported me, and I know where my bread's buttered. I'm well looked after at the zone, well looked after at Matchroom.
I'll save you the clip, but you heard him. He knows where his bread is buttered, and he likes Matchroom. He likes DAZN. They take care of him. I don't know when this interview was, but it's clearly recent, just a few years ago. And for him to say all this and then immediately switch it just shows the level of betrayal that he's done to Eddie Hearn and that company as well. And I don't like this as a UFC fan either because we've called out Dana for not paying UFC fighters. And he starts his own boxing. We call it Dana for not paying his own fighters. He starts Power Slap. We're like, dude, what the fuck? Why? We call him out for not paying UFC fighters. He starts UFC BJJ. Why? And then he goes and does Zuffa Boxing, which is going to be the most expensive payouts of any combat sport there is, just because that's the way boxing is ran. I don't understand. And while his champions are getting 1, 2, maybe 3+ mil a fight, Conor Benn for one fight, don't even know his opponent, one fight, got $10 to $15 million. This is absolutely outrageous. And I'm sure Eddie Hearn was paying him well over there. I mean, he was making millions for sure, had to. And I don't understand how much bigger of a payday this is for him. Obviously, chase your bag, but loyalty, man. You can't talk about loyalty and then do this when he could probably make $10-15 million with another fight or two with Eddie Hearn. I'm sure he's making very good money. These boxers do make double-digit millions every fight somehow. 36 minutes, no knockouts. I don't get it how they make this much money, but they do. But we've had a UFC fighter weigh in on this. The UFC fighter Sean O'Malley recently came out on his podcast. Let me restart this clip.
Zuffa Boxing is something that's taken over from Turkey. Like a prince or some shit in out in Dubai or something, like hundreds of billions of dollars. They're paying out. I don't even know who Conor Benn is.
I don't know.
He supposedly is a pretty big name in boxing. I never heard of him. Crazy, bro. Yeah,
But you get the point. I've never effing heard of him. It's crazy how you put in so much work in the UFC, build this name, create this character, be a star. I'm not making fucking 15 mil to fight. He's right, and DJ called this out too. Who knows Conor Benn? Within the past year, I learned about who he was. I knew nothing about the guy. I knew Ryan Garcia. I had seen things about Tank Davis, but I knew nothing about Conor Benn, and he doesn't seem like the most interesting guy. And I don't understand why he's getting $10 to $15 million payday. But Sean O'Malley has been a manufactured hype train by the UFC, and he's still not making that level of pay. They they catapulted him to a title shot, and he delivered. He performed, and he didn't get 15 million. I don't even know if he got double digit millions. Like, and for a champion, and Sean is a Dana Glazer. They're best buds. Like, they've been on great terms. That's the kind of guy Sean is. They're best buds. So for a fighter and a guy with a relationship with Dana to call this out and publicly state, like, that's kind of fucked up. I don't know the guy. He's getting 15 million. I work under your parent and like original company, and I'm not making anywhere near that. I think we're starting to see a trend where fighters are going to call out not only how low fighter pay is, but just the pure hypocrisy in Dana not paying them, but paying boxers that nobody is paying attention to. I'm sure they are draws, but it's not from the UFC audience. So you're bringing these two audiences that don't know each other. They're alienated from each other, and you're trying to clash them together, and that's going to create huge tensions. There's already boxer versus MMA debates every day on YouTube. I don't understand it. And this is only going to, push that up more. I mean, I was talking in this comment section. This guy said, these UFC fighters are crybabies. If you want to make 15 million a fight, why not switch to boxing? Why not switch to a boring sport? I said, how are you a crybaby if you're calling out pay discrepancy? This guy was an idiot. So we have a problem in UFC essentially, and I worry what this butterfly effect will cause, because if Sean O'Malley is doing that, you don't know what other champions, what other fighters are going to start being like, hey, this isn't good. Eventually, there could be like a boycott. I don't know if they could form a union, but there could be a boycott. If they don't fight, the UFC doesn't make money. It's as simple as that. If enough fighters don't fight, the UFC will become non-profitable, and they will be forced to change their pay scale, forced to give fighters more rights, and I don't understand why we're not doing this. I think Sean O'Malley should spearhead this. I think he should go, hey guys, Dana's been good to me, but this is blatantly like shafting us. You know what I mean? Like, he deserves to be. These guys are huge draws. I know way more people who knew about Sean O'Malley 4 years ago than they do about Conor Benn to this day. February 24th, 2026. I know more people who know about Sean O'Malley from 2020 than they do of Conor Benn today. He's not a draw in the sense that O'Malley is, especially in the fan base that MMA is. So this whole organization is leeching off of MMA. That's the platform that was built up, the UFC, MMA. And then they're going, hey, we're a great organization. We're going to branch out and do these other ones. But then they try to meet the standards of other organizations, and they shaft the original fighters, and it just creates a bad model. It's a very bad business model, and I don't know if it's sustainable. I could definitely see other UFC fighters speaking out, even taking time off to not fight. They already don't fight as much as they used to. They fight, average like UFC fighter does like 2, maybe 3 fights a year. Back in the day, the activity was a little bit higher. I don't know, man. I want to see these guys get more pay because they entertain me 10 times more than a boxing fight. I watched Sean Strickland destroy Anthony Hernandez, and I was hype. And then I go on Twitter, and it's 12 rounds of domination from Ryan Garcia. If he dominated every exchange over 12 rounds, 36 minutes, why couldn't he find a knockout? It's entertaining, like from a masterclass standpoint, but I know what fight I'm more hype watching. I know what fight I'm going to get more hype because I know that there's going to be a finish. And I know you say, it's a Strickland fight. There's usually never a finish. It's MMA. Anything can happen. But in boxing, we rarely see knockouts as much as we do, especially at the high level now because everybody's so technically sound. And I'm kind of, spitballing here, just going off on a limb. But I really just want to restate that, like, this is terrible. This is horrible. This is terrible by Dana. I feel like it's a negative investment because Conor Benn is not going to get the exposure that would, like, get Dana his money back in him paying this. They're looking to sign Ryan Garcia to fight Conor Benn in Zuffa Boxing, so that's another 20 mil down the drain. Garcia just won his fight against Barrios. He's probably going to request an insane amount of money, and Dana's fat fucking head's going to sign the paper while his fighters struggle making just, like, upwards of $1 million, maybe $2 million, when they're at the top of their career. When they're the best they've ever been, they're making maybe 7 figures. Maybe. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. This is like, it's just a weird situation because it's betrayal, it's a lack of transparency, it's hypocrisy, and it's favoritism. It feels like Dana's Dana's he's Andy from Toy Story, where he goes, I don't want to play with you anymore. He's dropped so many things that he built from the ground up, and now their quality is just shit. And he's trying to just funnel money into these other business ventures that us as UFC fans do not want to like engage with. I don't care about boxing. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, but you know how often I want to tune into UFC BJJ? Never. I'll just watch CJI once a year. Like Dana's doing too much. I don't know how he isn't being called out for a monopoly. Like, he not only does he rule MMA, but now he's threatening to get into boxing. He's threatening jiu-jitsu. He's got his own market in Power Slap. His only other competition is the Russia, like, syndicate. It makes no sense. We really need more fighter pay, and I'm hoping to see more fighters advocate for this, like, stepping up against Dana's, methods and how he pays his boxers compared to how he pays his fighters. But yeah, man, just a shitty situation all around. It really could be the degradation. Is that the right word? Degradation? Is that even a word? It just could be the downfall of the UFC long term, like just slowly kind of dropping in quality, in focus, and deliverance. I don't know. It's a shitty situation. But like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this. If you think Conor is just getting his bag, or if he's kind of a snake for leaving Eddie Hearn after he did all of this and more for him. Let me know if you think his hypocrisy stands, if you can really call him out on that, or if you just have to go, he's getting his bag. But what would you do for the MMA fighters? Like, obviously, I'm not a multi-billion-dollar company owner. I don't know anything about that. Obviously, it's hard to put stuff together, but clearly they've had the power to do that and do better than that. So I feel like there is a method to fix this. They just don't want to do it. So if you as a UFC fan can think of something that maybe we could help out with, like as a community, I'm down to do that. Like, it's just we can't let Dana walk over the sport anymore. He's already given us shit matchups, and now he's given us more shit pay, and it just never ends, dude. But I digress. See ya.